I was thinking of how I could start off explaining what happened poetically. Maybe a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King or a portion of the Declaration of Independence. But truly and honestly, there is no poetic way to explain pain. How can you indict suffrage, injustice, tyranny, oppression? You can't. Therefore, I won't attempt to, especially when I'm continuously told by everyone that it's bigger than me. It's not worth fighting for because that's just the way that it is. That things will never change whether the president's black or not. Patriotic, tax-paying, law-abiding, red-blooded Americans will cynically comply with everything that goes against all that they stand for. My name is Nickolas WIldstar. I'm a sovereign man, and I refuse to live in an authoritative dictatorship. On Thursday, February 28, 2013, my wife and I were exercising our right to travel, which was unjustly and unlawfully denied by the officers in this video. Initially, we were pulled over for not having plates on the car. We willingly provided them with proof that the tags were current and willfully explained that the vehicle had just been purchased. We were then asked if we had bought the car from a dealer or private owner because one of the tail lights were out. We kindly explained that we bought it from a private owner and had performed our own inspection, but possibly may have not noticed and would fix it. We even conversed a moment about our purchase and the condition of the car. He friendly stated how we were not being ticketed, but merely informed for our safety. We then thanked him for his public service. "No problem now," officer replied, "but before I let you go, can I see your driver's license?" Since the officer had already concluded I wasn't suspicious of criminal activity or had committed a crime, I then asked him what was his purpose for asking for identification. He explained how he just wanted to verify the validity of my driver's license. I politely refused, stating that the United States Constitution that he swore to uphold and protect granted me with unalienable, unenumerated rights, which for me included the right to protect my identity. He asked me, "Where does it say that?" I said, "I can show you if you like. I have my Constitution." He said, "All right, go ahead." So I proceeded to get it. At this point, I already knew things were going to get sketchy, so that's when I began recording this video using the camera on my phone. As you can tell from the video, one officer quickly turned into many, and what started out as a discussion about the intention of the Fourth and Ninth Amendment disgustingly transformed into an Orwellian, draconian display of oppression. With complete disregard to the conversation, nature of the incident, or my personal rights, one of the officers opened my car door demanding me out of my vehicle. Reaffirming my rights, I refused. I was threatened with being tasered and told I was putting the officer's life in danger by him standing in the street. Maintaining my rights, I refused. Angrily, the officer then grabbed my arm and proceeded to pull me out of the car. This is when I alarmed towards the camera that I was now being assaulted and attacked by the officer. After a moment of hearing me say this repeatedly, he then placed his hand on my shoulder and then changed his wording by asking me to get out of the car, please. I continued to inform him that him touching me without consent is an assault, as well as restate my right of sovereignty. He then took his hand off my shoulder and eventually closed the door. I used this opportunity to upload the first video, and it was immediately afterwards where both my wife and I were assaulted by multiple police officers using excessive force. The officer started pulling on my arm to force me out of the car while attempting to restrain my wife by pulling on her arms, one of which is in a cast. With our free arms, we stayed interlocked, which the officers aggressively attempted to prevent by twisting our fingers, digging their nails into us, foot stomping, threatening us with tasers, all the while attempting to remove my phone from my hands. I finally told them that I would cooperate to prevent myself from further harm, and I was removed from my vehicle, handcuffed, arrested, and detained for nearly 24 hours before bailing out. My wife, a completely innocent victim in the matter, was also arrested, handcuffed, again mind you with a cast on one arm, detained for over 4 hours, then released with a citation. Both of us now having to face criminal charges in court and must compromise our way of living to battle for and defend our freedom. Our car was towed away and is being held on a mandatory 30-day hold, only to be released once any and all applicable fees are paid. Our lives have been turned upside down. How much longer will racial profiling and driving while black be accepted? How much longer will random routine stops to verify if the person has warrants or not be tolerated? How many personal rights, unenumerated rights, civil rights, and human rights need to be violated before enough is enough? How many of you will continue to stand by and do nothing except be witness to intolerance while those of us who uphold ideas of liberty and democracy are abused, bastardized, and treated as enemies? How much longer will the American dream stay just a dream before it becomes simply a figment of imagination? The time has come, and the time is now. My name is Nickolas WIldstar, and I need your help. Please contact me to find out how you can help me take back our country. Search, find, and add Governor WIldstar on Twitter and Facebook, and let's experience freedom together. Free California, free the world. I noticed that there isn't a court recorder present, Your Honor. Right. Therefore, according to Superior Court of California Rule 1.150, photography, recording, and broadcasting of courtroom proceedings may be permitted as circumscribed in this rule if executed in the matter. It says that in the matter that ensures the fairness and dignity of the proceedings are not adversely affected, and because there is no court recorder present, I feel like my Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial and jury is being affected. Therefore, there isn't any need for that because of my First Amendment right to have the right to this. Request denied for what? I'm again, Your Honor, trying to ensure that I have, I'm trying to ensure that I have the right to a fair and just trial. Unless this court has something to hide, there shouldn't be any reason why I should be allowed to record this process. Again, there should be a court recorder process as is. And again, to secure my right to a fair and just trial, which as my constitutional right, I don't need to make that formal request because, again, that should be present in the court as is.
You need to have a seat, sir.
Excuse me. Okay. Why do I need to have a seat? Your Honor. Your Honor, you called me up to resolve this matter. Let the record reflect that the judge has left the court, and I have the authority under common law and am dismissing this case. Again, let the records of this case of this court recognize that the judge has abandoned the court and has never established jurisdiction. Therefore, under common law jurisdiction, I now have authority and am dismissing this case. And I'm requesting a letter of exoneration of the court, as well as that my car be given back to me and my property, and any fines and bail amounts requested be alleviated. After successfully defending myself in court as a sovereign citizen, I was astounded at how simple it was to do so. I couldn't believe how knowing the rights established in the Constitution could empower a citizen so much that it would grant me the ability to make a Supreme Court judge leave his own courtroom. This was a victory that was short-lived, though, because after contacting the district attorney's office, I soon learned the judge had issued a bench warrant for failing to appear in court. Mind you, however, both the DA's office and the court clerk confirmed I was present as recorded in the minutes log of the case. After contacting several attorneys that ranged from civil rights law to bench warrant specialists, unanimously I was told that the bench warrant's issuance was unlawful, but since the judge is the judge, there pretty much was nothing I could do about it. Since when did man's judgment become more supreme than the judgment of God? When was he ordained with such authority, and if so, who granted him with this power? Because I certainly didn't. If a judge can simply dictate the rule of law from his own judgment, what laws then is the judge subject to? When is justice served? Needless to say, I was feeling a bit helpless hearing this from attorneys who, in the same breath, would offer to help me if I paid them money, which were amounts starting at $500 to $5,000. I didn't have the money. I didn't have legal representation. All I had was the brains to know that somewhere between the law books and the Constitution, I would be able to protect myself from this illegal action. And I was right. After digging up all the resources and courage I could muster, I headed back to the courts to dispute the bench warrant myself, knowing at any given point along the way I could be arrested. I refused to let fear of me losing my freedom dilute my vision to end the slave-like actions being imposed upon me. To do so is a silent victory for them and an awful defeat for liberty.
Are you recording these proceedings?
I'm entering the court under duress, Your Honor.
Are you recording these proceedings?
To ensure a fair and just trial, yes.
All right, I want you to hand that cell phone to my bailiff.
I don't have to, Your Honor, under, what is it, Superior Court, according to
Mr. WIldstar, are you going to turn that? Are you going to turn that off? Are you going to turn it off, or are you going to hand it to my bailiff?
Your Honor, because I feel like my Sixth Amendment right to a fair and just trial is under threat, I'm requesting that I use my cell phone as a recording device. Again, under Superior Court California Rule 1.1550, I'm allowed to do so as long as everyone here is presented as in a fair manner. And again, because there isn't any court recorder present, I'd like to ensure my Sixth Amendment right to a fair and just trial. This case was already transferred by a judge that pretty much had the same argument with me. When we were speaking about the matter, he recused himself and left the bench during that matter. Before we had an opportunity to establish jurisdiction, he left the courtroom, and I then assumed authority of the court and requested that that case be dismissed.
Well, Mr. WIldstar, there is a sign outside at this building which tells you that you cannot record. Had you asked the court for permission to record, I would have considered that request, because that's what I do with attorneys and other individuals that are in this court. But you decided that you didn't want to ask permission, or you did not ask permission, and therefore you're in violation of that particular provision in this courthouse. And that's why I asked you if you were recording, and if you want to turn that off, you can retain it. If you don't want to turn it off, I'm directing that you give it to my bailiff right here. Now, is it off?
It is, sir.
All right. I want you to please give it to my bailiff and show him how you turned it off. Just show him, and then you can keep it. Just show him how you turned it off.
If you know about Android phones,
No, you just show him how you turned it off.
No, it's off. It's like a computer. No recording devices are on.
All right. Show him how you did it. I mean, all the way off.
And again, you're
all right.
Show you that it is stated here that I did appear during that 8:30 proceeding, and that again, it's not reflected in these minutes here, but during that conversation, again, the judge recused himself, and I claimed common law jurisdiction because no jurisdiction had ever been established. Because of that, I dismissed the case, and the judge then nobody said anything. They pretty much were stunned. And at that point, I just said, okay, is there anything that the courts have to give me? The bailiff just said, leave, sir. So again, I'm really just standing before you just to request that the bench warrant be quashed and any and all charges against me at this point be dismissed. I don't consent to the court, and I waive all benefits.
Did you get a copy of the complaint that was filed against you?
No, I didn't receive any of this information. The only way that I received it was by speaking with the district attorney's office. And I'd also like to request that the court set aside the forfeiture of a bond and declare all liability on the bail bond exonerated. I also make a motion to the courts for a writ of quo warranto to establish jurisdiction of the court proceedings. And if it is not responded to within the next 3 to 20 days, all charges shall be dropped and no further pursuance of this matter shall be engaged in courts. The judge didn't provide proof that I was ever served a notice to appear before the issuing bench warrant. The judge didn't have sufficient and appropriate
Mr. Wildstar, I'm going to ask you to please be quiet for a minute so I can look at the record. Can you just please be quiet for a minute?
Indeed.
I ask you to be quiet. 13HM02938. The record will reflect that he's been given a copy of the complaint. Now, Mr. Wildstar, you've made a number of requests here, and I've listened to those requests, and at this time, we need to take care of a couple other things before we address the requests. First of all, do you have any questions about the charges that have been filed against you?
Your Honor, I apologize because I did actually receive a copy of that. I didn't know what the legal term is for that.
So when you told me that you did not get a copy of the complaint, that wasn't accurate?
Correct. I did receive it when I checked in at the previous court.
You know, Mr. Wildstar, one of the most important things for people appearing in court is their credibility. And if the court gets the impression that people are not telling the truth, it really doesn't help the person at all. In fact, it can really work to their disadvantage. So
I understand, Your Honor. Again,
I appreciate you telling me that you made a mistake. All right? So you do have a copy of the complaint. That's why I want to make sure that you have that. And I need to know whether or not you understand. I'm not asking if you agree with the charges. I'm not saying they're true. I just want to know if you understand what the charges are in the court.
I've read through them and
Okay. Do you have any questions about? I'm not saying they're true. I just want to know if you have any questions about what they are.
I've read through them.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Now, the next thing is, and I understand you're objecting to the jurisdiction of the court. That is a matter of record. Okay, we know that objection. You have the right to object if you want to. Right? My question to you is, how do you want to proceed with this matter? Do you want to plead not guilty and have me set it for trial?
Your Honor, I would like not to enter a plea until I understand the nature and cause against me. Until this court has established jurisdiction, I again would like to refuse to enter a plea at this time. If it's possible for the court, I'd like to request that it be said for the record that if this case is proceeding under common law jurisdiction or under admiralty law,
which is under tribunal venue, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution.
Mr. WIldstar, do you know what admiralty law is?
I completely do, sir, which is why I do not consent to these court
That's what I
proceedings,
thought.
and which is why I'm waiving all benefits and again requesting that any and all charges against me be dropped. And I am also requesting that any and all bail amounts against me be exonerated, as well as my car that has been illegally impounded be returned to me. According to Vehicle Code, pardon me,
Well, my
Vehicle
theory
Code
is,
Section 1801.5, Section E, any vehicle should not be detained for a 30-day period just on the fact or just on the basis that the driver is operating the vehicle without a license. The car was not causing an infraction upon the public. Therefore, the vehicle then needs to be released to me as well. Since there hasn't been any establishment of jurisdiction in the courts, I'm requesting that the case be dismissed. Your Honor.
your request is denied at this time.
As to why the case
Because,
is being denied.
Mr. WIldstar, because you have decided you didn't want to enter a plea today, on your behalf, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. The matter is set for pre-trial conference in Department H13
Excuse me.
on April, excuse me, you just be quiet for a minute here. On April 18th, 2013, in order to appear April 18th.
I object, Your Honor. For the judge to enter a plea on my behalf is to practice law from the bench. Also, let the record reflect, since the judge has entered a plea on not guilty on my behalf, he has made the judicial decision that I'm not guilty of these charges. Therefore, this case is dismissed. If we don't have anything further to discuss, I'd like to go about with my day. Thank you.
Mr. WIldstar,
Is there anything
in
else
order
that
to
we need to
appear
discuss
in
here?
Department H13, 8:30, April 18th for pre-trial.
The judge just entered the judicial decision that I am not guilty of these charges. Therefore, all charges shall be dropped immediately, and I shall receive a letter of exoneration from the courts by the clerk's office. Because the judge has made the judicial decision to enter a plea on my behalf of not guilty, he again has stated for the record that I am not guilty, therefore dismissing the case. Does that make sense to anybody? Good. Therefore, case number 13, H as in Harry, M as in Mary, 02938 against Nickolas WIldstar is dismissed. Thank you.
I'm advising you, if you fail
Thank
to
you.
show up, a warrant will be
Thank
issued
you.
for your arrest.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
April
beautiful
18th.
day. God bless this country, the United States of America, and the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, which I represented, which you took the oath of office to represent as well, which you are refusing to do, Your Honor. You took the oath of office to uphold the Constitution of the United States, which is not present in this court today. There is no written, there is no writ against me. There is no establishment of jurisdiction. Again, I'm requesting a writ of quo warranto establishing jurisdiction of this court to pursue this matter against me. And again, since the honor has issued a not guilty plea against me, he's made a judicial decision that this case has been dismissed.
All right, Mr. WIldstar, please, I have other cases that I need to take care of. I'm asking you to be quiet.
Let's go.
I must say that somewhere I knew someday I would be contacted by the likes of the FBI, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. Here I am, merely a blimp on the radar when it comes to activism, at least so I think. But on this day, I received my first call from the FBI. I quickly learned I was more prominent on their radar than I thought. Of course, I was confused by all of it because I wondered, what did I do to warrant the attention of the federal government?
Are you still in Orange County, or did you move out of the area?
Can we speak now? Because if not, then we're going to conclude this conversation, and I'm going to ask that you not contact me anymore.
All right, well, I'm just following up on something. I had something from Orange County. I know you got pulled over not too long ago. It's, like I said, Nickolas, it's not a big deal. But I just wanted to talk to you in person for a few minutes and get to know you, and you can get to know me a little bit.
How did you get my information?
I can explain all that to you. I don't want you to get, stressed out over this at all, but it's a lot easier if I meet with you.
You know what? If you want to make this a federal matter, then I suggest that you go about your way to contact me that way, because I wasn't notified anything by the FBI or anything through mail, and nor would I appreciate any
Nickolas, I've been doing this for 17 years. I've never notified anybody through the mail before I talk to them.
Which is why the FBI is a farce, sort of kind of like organization. I mean, because...
I'm sorry? What?
A farce organization, meaning that you're rooted in the wrong element.
All right. Well, that's why I want to talk to you, because I could show you my credentials and everything, Nickolas. Well, if you want me to, I could locate you another way. I just wanted to talk to you. We can meet at a Starbucks, not even at your house, and I can get you a coffee or a soda, whatever you want. We can sit down at your table and talk for a few minutes.
No, thank you.
That's easier, just mean that neutral location?
No, thank you. I don't have any interest in meeting with the FBI, nor would I ever. So thank you for your time, sir, and goodbye.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
No, you won't.
Okay. Thanks, Nickolas. I'll see you later then.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm doing this for you.
FBI.
Hi, how are you doing today, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
Very well. I'd be a lot better if I could get a bit of assistance from you, though. You said you're recording this call, correct?
Correct.
And your name, by the way, ma'am?
We don't give out our names for security purposes. You can make a note of the date and time you called.
Okay, because I'm recording this call as well, for security purposes myself.
All right.
I'm calling because I was recently contacted by the FBI regarding a case that I have, which is a traffic case, okay? Regarding me driving without a license and some misdemeanor charges of resisting arrest and assaulting an officer, which I'm dealing with in court right now. But my position in court and my position in of, I guess, the government in itself of authority is more so uncommon and unorthodox. And I guess based on my ideals, the FBI has since called me. They called me 2 days ago, and he said that he called me. He just popped up over my house, and he asked me for my new address. And I asked him to identify himself, and he gave me his name. And I asked him, why are you contacting me? And he said, I understand you have this situation out of Orange County, that you're dealing with, and it's nothing serious. I just want to sit down and talk to you. And I asked him, why would you want to talk to me about this? How is me driving with no license plates on my car, a matter of national security? And he said, well, really, I just, it's nothing we want to discuss over the phone with. I'd like to meet you in person. And I said, well, I don't really know who you are. I'm not just going to schedule to meet with you in person. And he said, well, I can show you my credentials, and we can continue our conversation then. If you like, we can go out and meet at Starbucks or something, and we can talk then. And this is a red flag for me, because I thought we lived in America where I'm able to express my constitutional rights without being seen as a terrorist or any kind of threat, of course, to the federal government. But obviously not. So much so to where I'm, a nobody, am being contacted by a federal officer.
What was the name the officer gave you?
I didn't get his name, and I didn't catch it, but I did record the conversation. He gave me a number, or he didn't give me a number, but the number that he called from, I saved in my phone. I can give you that number if you like.
Yes, please.
Okay, just a second.
All right.
Who he is, I don't know if he's legit or whatever, but I'm just calling you guys so you're aware of what's going on, because I would like to actually speak with someone regarding this, especially to know, again, why am I being targeted by the FBI? And also, I'm a candidate running for governor here in California. I don't know why, again, the FBI would have any interest in speaking with me, because I haven't even made my decision about running public other than through a group of friends on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, as well as friends and family members, and that's about it. I really haven't officially announced it, nor have I even filed with the state yet. So if it's regarding my political beliefs, then I haven't even expressed those, and nor should that even be in question, because it has everything to do with supporting the Constitution and liberty and freedom for every American. So if this is supposed to be the land of the free, I don't see any reason why I should be targeted as a criminal.
Sir, you may not necessarily be targeted as a criminal. You may have been identified as a victim. I can't tell you that. I don't know why the agent is contacting you.
If I have been a victim, it would be a victim of what's going on here with the police department and judicial system here in California, in Southern California. So if they're calling me to aid me with that, I would greatly appreciate that. But if they're calling me to tell me that I'm a target and to show some sort of method of intimidation, then I don't appreciate it, and I will file a lawsuit.
No, sir, our agents would not do that.
That's very good to know. So,
however, I don't know what the agent wanted to speak with you about.
Okay.
But I do see that number in our system.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. So, at this point, what do you want to do, ma'am? Or what should I do?
You should go ahead and contact the agent and see what he would like to speak with you about. And if you're comfortable meeting with him or speaking with him, you can make that arrangement.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Hello, hi, my name is Nickolas WIldstar. You contacted me a few days ago to meet with me?
Yeah, hi, Nickolas.
Hi, how are you?
Jerry. Good.
I had to call the FBI LA office to confirm your identity, which has been taken care of.
Okay. That's why I thought it'd be better if we actually met in person. It's really hard to talk on the phone.
I understand. My whole thing is I don't understand why me getting pulled over without any plates on my car would be a matter of national interest. So that's my whole...
Yeah, I know. I can explain it all to you. That's part of the deal. I was given received a lead to go talk to you, and until I do, I can't close that out. So I'd still like to talk to you.
Well, I'm just wondering more so if you're calling me to help me or if you're calling me to exercise some kind of, method of intimidation here. Because if so, I greatly do not...
I don't roll that way, really.
I understand. I know you're just doing your job, but if this is with regards to my political beliefs or anything that you may have found out about me regarding Anonymous or, something like that, then I'm thinking maybe I should get me an attorney to meet with you when we do.
No, you want me to do that, really. Okay, that would be totally unnecessary, and that'd be a waste of your time, possibly a waste of money. Okay, I wouldn't want to do that to you. Well, why don't we do this? I'm sorry, I got my phone right now because I thought I wasn't sure. I was waiting on another call, but I'm busy right now at a computer lab. Can we? Do you want? Okay. Do you like to go by Nickolas? I know that you have governor on some of your. You call yourself governor as well.
Well, I'm running for governor of California, so
okay.
That's why I call myself governor.
Okay. Well, that's why when I called you, I'm like, I'm just going to call. I mean, he's running for governor. He's going to want to talk to people.
Absolutely. It's just, I'm a bit wary when somebody calls me and say, hey, I'm calling you from the FBI. Can we meet and talk? And I know about, a lot of things that would cause me to be suspicious of someone that would, say such a thing. So,
okay. No. This is all legit. Okay, well, let's do this.
We will, sir. Thank you again for your time.
Okay. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Okay.